Yeah. What is up, guys? It's Michael Lewis here again. Every single Saturday, you know that I'm going to be live with you guys on Twitch and on YouTube at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Unless you're doing something special like we did last week when we interviewed Roberto Fontanez, owner of 9 out of 10 Sneaker Boutique in Fayetteville, Baltimore. You know the spot, 1123 Light Street. Go check them out and mention that you learned about them from Lenderblock Podcast as well, if you end up going down there and if that's actually the case. Guys, we have a lot going on this week, but I'm actually specifying this podcast toward a demo. I know people like the demos. I can see that by the numbers, the viewership, the engagement. People like the demos because, of course, that's the main product that Lenderblock Corporation offers. That's the main value that we bring to you, the customer. We're bringing to you more times than not our software with additional clothing or entertainment pieces or interview pieces. But the demos are a part of the podcast as well as conversations about promos that we've been offering, such as our verified registry program through which we're giving away 3 free collateral increases to our borrowers as long as they submit the verified registry application form and submit verifying documents which are requested from them by our internal team through the Blender platform verified registry portal. Go to the Blender platform page, click on becoming Blender verified, and then you'll see the entire portal where you can send messages to our internal team about your verification status. You can see the statuses of all the due documents which we are requesting from you. You can see the status of your overall approval for the Blender Verified Registry program. From there, you can go into your credit lines and request free collateral increases, which we are willingly giving out. We recently received some funding from an external source, which is solely for the purpose of increasing our borrowers' credit limits. Do not miss out. It's not a super ton of money, so right now we have just under 15 people, 13 to 14 people who have submitted their applications and have done so properly. So we're asking that you join their ranks and once again sign up for the Blender platform and take advantage of that new program. But this podcast is actually about the partner platform. The partner platform is my second app. That is the app that allows people to perform susu, if you guys know what that is, or tanda, if you're from the Latin American countries in the Americas. Tanda, juntas, cuchubales, panderos. Uh, Partner is also what it's called in the, I guess you could call it the Caribbean. Um, well, the anglicized Caribbean, I'd say, calls it partner. But the non-anglicized Caribbean nations who aren't Latin call it susu because they're getting the root from the West African. You also have the East Asians who I've heard it name this cultural practice as hui, Hui. So all these different practices are really synonymous with the same cultural phenomenon that the partner platform enables. It allows you to, as a manager, let's say I'm the manager, I want to invite 9 people to a group in which I have a group of total 10, including myself. I use this example every time, guys. And let's say I want to allow each person to withdraw a total of 3 times, and we'll all contribute once a month, and we're going to contribute each month $100. So each month, one member in the group of 10 will have a turn to withdraw the sum of everyone else's contributions, which would be $900. And then next month, it won't be their turn. It'll be someone else's turn within the group of 10, and whoever had the last turn to withdraw will now have to contribute for the next individual whose turn it is to withdraw. And by the time 10 months have passed, every person will have contributed and withdrawn $900. So it's a savings platform. The benefit especially comes out when you have an unforeseen expense, right? This is a cultural practice that people across the world, like I just said, do within their own cultural communities, microcosms. And the reason why is because it's very familiar, trust-based. The Blender platform, on the other hand, has no reference to trust whatsoever. We use collateral to protect against borrower defaults, to protect our lenders against borrower defaults. So the borrowers on the Blender platform, which is the first app that allows members to lend and borrow peer-to-peer, choosing their own interest rates and minimum monthly payments, and lenders choosing to lend to which credit lines seem to most credible and profitable based on the credibility statistics, the amount of active lenders, the available withdrawable balance at the current time, all these different statistics. Lenders are choosing to lend to certain credit lines based on these quantitative assessments, and that's the Blender platform. There is no need for trusting the people you're lending to. It's more so an objective assessment. Whereas the partner platform is completely subjective. You need to know the people who you're inviting to your partnership, and even better, you need to be in a situation where you're interacting with that person on a semi-regular basis, if not every week. This is because it's easier to hold someone accountable within the group if you actually are a part of a church congregation, right? Or a parent-teacher association, or a soccer team, your youth team, or a neighborhood covenant, or an HOA, whatever it may be. This is really the partner platform as opposed to the blended platform is based on trust. And because this is the reason why. I've programmed mitigations for group member defaults or partnership member defaults in terms of a member of a partnership not contributing for another member's turn. This is mitigated by the system I have where if it's your turn to withdraw and you've missed prior contributions which haven't been repaid yet, you have debt, that debt gets subtracted from the value which you are able to withdraw your turn when you get to withdraw. I hope that there is at least some for you to withdraw when it's your turn. But if you, in that prior example where I had a 10-person group, each person contributing $100 a month, if you fail to contribute for the past 9 months and it's your turn to withdraw, then you won't be able to withdraw anything. And the 9 people who you owe will get that money routed to their account automatically through the way that I've designed the whole thing. So my purpose in explaining all this to you is to give you the counter to that, which is I have no mitigation, unfortunately. This is just the nature of this cultural practice. People are weary of it because of the lack of documentation outside of the partner platform. If you're not using the partner platform for this, it's easy for people to run off or simply not take it seriously, because when they get their last draw on the last round of the partnership, some people fail to contribute anymore because they say, well, I have nothing to lose, right? I've already got my last draw. There are no more rounds for me to withdraw. So the next 3 people in the group of 10 who I'm supposed to contribute to finish this thing off, well, some people will be negligent and just say, well, forget those guys. That's the worst case scenario. And the unfortunate piece here is I'm going back to the beginning where I tell you the partner platform is trust-based as opposed to the blended platform. The partner platform is trust-based because in that situation where a delinquent member decides I'm not going to contribute anymore because I've already gotten what I need from the partnership and it's the last round, the people who come after that delinquent member will suffer. So it's rough. And as we grow, we may have a bit of an insurance policy built into what we have going on once we can acquire enough user belief in this system. But I'm telling you, every culture, especially if you're coming from an immigrant family, I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. I just didn't name it, perhaps in the name that your ethnic group describes it. So you might be from a region that I just haven't explored enough to know the name of the practice for your your social group. So you know that this is a thing that people do, and this whole system is there to document it, make it more transparent, make it more easy to hold people accountable. It's just there to make it more first. I almost said first world, but that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's actually done more in the trend is third world countries. I'm making it more first world by involving technologies that can just ease the process and change it from being more of a, hey, I know you, I call you when it's time for me to get my draw. You get the Western Union from so and so over here, and you zell it to me, and it takes all that out of it and just automates it through an app, through blockchain, through digitization that has its own checks and balances built in. Now I'm getting nonsense chats. Guys, if you're in the videos, make sure you chat some stuff. I want to interact with you guys as much as possible. That's also the purpose of these videos. However, this podcast, I give it enough rambling backstory. How deep into it are we? About 10 minutes. Look, I want to get into a quick demo of some key things on the partner platform. Should be pretty cool for us all to kind of relearn some of these things. I've already done some demos covering these aspects of the partner platform, but I think it just needs a bit more clarification. I've been seeing some people create partnerships on the app, and I'm just trying to help these people along to understanding what needs to come next. Okay, you've created a partnership. How do I make it a successful partnership? Okay, so I'm going to switch my viewer screen over here. Okay. And you guys should see me right in here. Let's see. A little too big, a little too high up. What's that? Yeah, it looks better. that's pretty solid. There you guys go. So you can see the whole phone there. It's a little weird because you know how the whole screen sharing thing works. I'm going to sign in. I'll sign in with my own typical account here. Those of you who recognize where I am right now, feel free to comment that in the comments. That'll be kind of cool. I'm not going to spoil it though. Just know I'm in Baltimore. And if you do know where I am, give me some slack for the Wi-Fi because you already know the situation. All right. No, I don't want the simulator there. I want to run it locally. Well, let's see. Device, shake it. All right. It'll run a little more quickly if I don't debug it through a server. Just give me some time here. I apologize for those of you who are live. However, I'm a busy guy, all right? I'm trying to do this for you to understand this stuff, so bear with me. All right, here we go. That's the equivalent of Face ID. Hopefully we get a bit quicker loading time here. My computer isn't struggling so much with Safari running in the background. Hey, a virtual machine, simulated cell phone device, Streamlabs, and Safari is a bit too much, so that's my bad for having Safari open. All right, so here are my friends, loaded up a bit better this time, and you can see I have some friends here that I've already added. The entire principle of the partner platform is to add friends, guys. This is because I don't want anyone to be inviting people who they do not know to their partnerships. That's the first thing I'm trying to prevent. So I have several steps in here to kind of make it there's a bit of an obstacle because remember the partner platform has partnerships which are trust based. So I have all these friends and I can see quantitative statistics for each friend to ascertain how credible this friend may be in a partnership which I may potentially invite them to. It kind of just shows me the value of each of my friends in a way, if you want to think of it that way. But we're talking about money here, so the quantitative reasoning is paramount. So you're going to see friends, mutual, the part in parentheses is the corresponding with the number in parentheses. So a lot of these friends I have not been using the app as much yet because the app was only deployed in 2022, October of 2022. So we're still new at this one. The Blender platform, which is really how we got the majority of our total 2,500 individually owned account user base, that was deployed in 2020, March of 2020. So that's had its own time to gain traction, and this is only going to add to the joint traction which they gain, right? If I want to add a friend that I don't have yet, I click them. I can add the friend. If I want to take away a friend that that I have, hold down, and I can remove the friend there. Just hold it down. You can do that. I built this for a couple years, but this is a sibling of the Blender platform. So you can see I have a lot of similarities here, such as the filter functions. I can filter the people who are within my partnership by saying, okay, I only want to see potential friends or friends that I have managed X amount of partnerships min and max, or have joined X amount of partnerships min and max. You have a mutual friend count with me of this amount min and max, and then the friend count that they actually have min and max. So this is just kind of different filters which I thought could be useful. Didn't have a bunch. I like the user interface being simple and concise. So this is a couple different filters that I think could be useful in figuring out who's who and filtering through these people, especially when you have a lot. Like I have 32 here, and it could be hundreds. So everything will keep developing in that way. I can search up people's usernames as well through here, and that's all pretty simple. I deposit money once more to my partner wallet, which is the same as my Blender wallet. If I sign into an account on the Blender platform with a certain username, I can take that same account and sign in to the partner platform with the same username. And the Blender wallet, partner wallet are the same wallet. So that's your Lenderblock username more so than it is just your app username. So it's more of an ecosystem kind of idea here. So I can deposit to the partner wallet. I can go in here. I can go through. We have an online check-in that allows you to do 3D Secure Level 2 verification, which means that if your bank deems the transaction to potentially fraudulent and doesn't recognize who Lenderblock Corporation is, to avoid what we're trying to avoid here or prevent here is money laundering. Is a person taking advantage of a person's card details, which they found, coming on the app, putting the money on the app, and then washing it by depositing it back onto their own the criminal's own bank account. And that's been something we've suffered with, and we have to pay the cost of that. When it all bounces back and the disputes come, we're the ones who suffer from that the most. So obviously that's something that I work hard to prevent. I can put in a quick code here because I've already gone through this before. Kind of speed up the process there. But the second factor authentication with the bank will come later if the bank wants to do it. So it's just 3D Secure 2. You can look it up. It's a Euro standard already. But I'm actually not going to go through it, and I can redirect back to the app automatically here. It's going to hold me here for a little while because it's waiting for the transaction to finish, but after a few seconds, this waiting screen will go away because it'll allow you to go back, and if you fail to complete the transaction within another 10 minutes, it'll send you an email saying, hey, you didn't complete your transaction checkout portal. You didn't finish your checkout. What was going on? So these are little things that we have built in. Just so that way it's more secure, right? We're going through Stripe, which is a trusted intermediary globally, so all your transactions are safe, secure. I'm just giving you a brief overview of what you're going to see when you get on the app. And here's your final breakout window where you can leave it. I didn't actually want to deposit anything there, put in my card details for obvious reasons. So max transferable. I can transfer an amount of money to a friend, just like our competitors in a way, or Cash App or PayPal, Zelle, whatever. You can send another person funds to their Blender wallet, and they can withdraw it in the normal fashion, which I'll show you next. And there's no commission for that. There's no fee for sending money from one person to another. And here you can actually withdraw funds out of your Blender wallet into your external bank account. And you do this in a similar way. Say I put in $10 and I want to withdraw, and I'll choose a destination and move forward with it that way. And it'll kind of tell me, oh, well, you can withdraw between this amount and this amount. We're currently freezing withdrawals due to some exposure to some FTX issues. That's the whole Sam Bankman-Fried thing. So I know that kind of fell behind us a little bit in terms of seeming like old news, but it's not old news, and we have been exposed to that as well. We do have crypto holdings that we've been acquiring for a long period of time, and several thousands of those crypto holdings have been frozen. So it's a bit rough for us in some ways. So at times we do pause withdrawals. However, when we're not, you'll see that not 1 to 0, but 1 to whatever amount of balance we're allowing people to withdraw from our holdings at the current moment. So that varies over time based on really my decision to keep a certain amount of capital within our liquid pools, if that makes any sense. Here's our settings tab. Once again, I can invite friends to partner if I allow my contacts to be imported. Here's some default contacts when you have a simulator. Your contacts will appear here. You can put in the phone number, an email address, or a contact name. I can customize my profile. I intend to get the profile pictures appearing on the main page there that you saw earlier, where you can scroll through different friends. I want each friend to have their profile picture present, but I just need to add that in. But you can actually add a profile picture to your account. You just need to have that displayed on each swipe through. Just busy guy. Telling you, busy guy. But I mean, I love it. I'm just saying, there's a lot more work that always needs to be done, but I love the way that this works because it's the best automation I've seen of this cultural practice ever. And I have family members who have been telling me, yo, you gotta work on this app, you gotta finish it. And when I got it out, they were ecstatic because they were afraid that I just do the Blender platform and stop. However, I couldn't do that. So we have the transaction records here, and you can see all the different transactions that I've gone through that you've done actually. So you've transferred out, you've contributed, you've done a share draw, which means you're able to withdraw a certain amount of money. So you just a lot of this stuff that I have here is test data because I'm the one who made it. So your account will look a lot different than mine. Of course, you'll have less transactions, but yeah, I have hundreds because I've been using this longer than anyone else, of course. Linked banks as well. You kind of go through all this yourself. Um, so you've seen the first or the tabs to the right on our upper navigation bar. And now when I go here, it'll load my friends up. Takes not my friends, it'll load my different partnerships up. Takes a little bit of time, but not too long, especially when you have a lot of them. This isn't too many though. I have around 8, it looks like. So if I click on one of them, I'll click on one that has no actions due. I'll show you what a partnership actually looks like. And the way it works is, once again, you invite your friends, you add friends, and you can invite your friends to your partnership. That's the way it all works, right? So I'm not the manager of this partnership. I can tell because it asks me down here if I want to become the manager of a new partnership. I can click on that and it'll take me to the portal where I go through the setup process for a new partnership and owning one and being the manager and inviting the people that need to be a part of it. I can take on that responsibility if I want, but I can also contribute or participate in a partnership which I've been invited to. So there's a message thread here where you can all talk and communicate about potential switches between members. Let's say I want a turn that someone else has in 2 weeks. Well, they don't have to give it to me, but the manager has explicit privileges to do those swaps and switches between member turns. And it's all decided within this partnership ideally. So I can send a message here, type it in, blah, 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 and type something of sense. Hey guys. And it'll send the message. And once it sends the message, you'll see that available right here. And it's pretty simple. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Try to make that one look like iMessage, but I know it's no iMessage, but I try to make it analogous to an iMessage experience. That way you're not too frustrated learning a new system or anything like that. It works, so it's good. I can also look through different members who are a part of this partnership. So if you look here, right now I'm looking at Wanna Win. That's the username of the person who has the current turn to withdraw, and we're looking at their data. We're in the first round. This blue portion of the chart shows me how much I've contributed in this round. Each bar is a round, and the light blue portion shows a total amount that's been contributed for the round. As new rounds go along, we'll have more bars. So right now I'm looking at Wanna Win. I'll actually, if Wanna Win's turn is right now, I wouldn't suspect them to have, they've contributed because Wanna Win created this partnership. And when you create the partnership, you contribute for your own first turn, only to be fair to everyone else. You're not going to invite everyone to contribute, take the first turn, and then have all the leverage to just say, oh, well, you guys contributed. I don't like that. I want the person who creates the partnership to also have to contribute on the first turn, because it's a sign of trust and fairness to the people that they're inviting. And afterward, they won't have to contribute on their own turn. No one else will either. So that's the way that works. Wanna Win created the partnership. They're the first turn to withdraw as just the first round. You look at everyone else. Let me see if anyone failed to contribute that was supposed to. So, okay, Patty Star contributed. That makes sense because in order to enter the partnership, you have to have contributed if it's the first round. That's the entry. So I'll kind of explain some more of this stuff in a better way. If I want to contribute, I already contributed this round, so this is all dulled out because I've already contributed. Yeah, you've already contributed during this round, so there's nothing for you to do. And it's not my turn to withdraw. Here's the partnership schedule, so I can see when it's my turn to withdraw coming up next. If I were the manager, which I'll show you next, I could do swaps between members, but you can kind of see when you're scheduled to get your withdrawal turn by if you want. If everyone else before you has already completed their withdrawal turn and it's your turn to withdraw, even if it's not this date, this end date, you can withdraw as early as the next person. Okay, you can withdraw your shares early as the person before you has withdrawn theirs. That makes sense. I know it must. But you can be. But by the end date, if you if you wait until the end date, it'll automatically be dispersed to your partner wallet. So we have to move on. This is the end date. This is the date by which you must manually withdraw, or else we'll automatically send you what's owed to you because it's your withdrawal turn. That way the partnership can continue on, right? And I'm going to go back here and I'm just showing you a bit of an overview. and how this whole thing works here. And I think you understand kind of the principle over here: more statistics, individual partner stats, your contribution sum, your owed debt, your missed contributions, your remaining withdrawals. This is actually your information. And then you can also look at, once again, how much each member has failed to contribute, or their active debt within the partnership, how much they owe other members in the partnership because of their own failed contributions or missed contributions. And then these are general account statistics here that help you ascertain more of the health of the contract in general. So you can also get to the messages here. My brain's all over the place, but there's a lot to show you, and I want this demo to be relatively concise. So it kind of shows you the first couple tabs there. And most of you have already seen, I hope, at least how to sign up for the partner platform. If you have a Blender platform account, once again, you can just sign in with the Blender platform account that you have into the partner platform and you're already a member. However, the partner platform and Blender platform have very, very, very similar sign up processes, so you shouldn't worry too much about signing up for it. It's pretty simple, and like I said, 2,500 people individually have all figured it out, so I know that it won't be too much of a hassle. Now, to create a new partnership, I've shown that previously. I don't want to create one right now. I just don't see the need when you see all these here that I've created just for testing purposes. But let me show you one that has an active status indicating that I need to invite contributors to my partnership. You saw that was what I just clicked on. I'll go back so you can see it. Don't reload. Damn. All right, I may need to take away the auto reload. It didn't take too long there, but that's kind of annoying. So invite partners to contribute. That's what I'm going to click on because that's the status. It's telling me what needs to be done. What needs to be done. There's also on the far right, you saw a message icon telling me if there were any messages that I've unread or that I've left unread or need to attend to, so I can be updated on the different communications going on within the partnership, right? So this one telling me, look, you need to lock and initiate the partnership. That's the current status. It is a due action. And I can look at my individual debt status. I have good standing. I'm the manager of this partnership. You see the manager up here, M. Lewis, yeah? So I can also look and say what's the round contribution rate. So we're all contributing $1 per week. Very easy there. This would be great if you had a ton of people, right? So if you had like 100 people contributing $100 in total, or $99 in total every single week, that would be lit, right? And then you get these withdrawal turns where all you're doing is contributing $1 a week. That's the cool part about it. Maybe every 2 years you get a free $99, but the benefit comes when you need a withdrawal turn early and you have an attentive manager who actually does the swaps for you to make sure that you have the money when you need it. This is all about having a pool of money to cover unforeseen expenses, expansion project for your house, or your repairing your radiator, or sending your kid on that school trip, or whatever it may be. It's just like for expenses which you may not have been able to cover if you didn't have this steadily building pool of funds that you can withdraw from at any time. That's the whole principle there. It's for families, friends, familiar groups. All right. So once again, it's telling me I need to lock and initiate the partnership. In order to do that, I need to invite members. So I have all my friends here. Once again, I have 32 list of friends I had, and I can select any of them. I'll select Mr. Lima. I know Mr. Lima. I will select Miss Rhonda. I'll select Miss Rhonda. I'll select those two, right? Finalize the selection and send the invitation. I'll send them an invitation to one that's not contributing $1 a week. We'll do something a bit more profitable for the people who are involved. Not really not profitable, but useful for the people involved. Remember, it's funds sharing. So this is all sharing funds and saving. Remember that the amount that you contribute is net zero with the amount that you withdraw. It's all saving, right? This is for you who are not good at saving. This is to help you and have you bail yourself out when you run into a situation that you need help in. As long as you have friends and family to depend on or to help support, this is for you. Okay, so plus, I want to show you, that's where I invite my partners. Now I can initiate the first round if I've invited any partners. Have I invited any partners? Have any joined? So it's telling me no partners have accepted the invite. You must invite partners and await their initial contributions. Upon contributing, partners accept the invitation. Okay, so I still need to invite my partners. If I invite the partners, like I just showed you I could have here, then they would be able to go ahead and they accepted the invitation by contributing the initial contribution, and I can click initiate round, and the first round will start, and then it'll be my turn to withdraw because the first round started, everyone's contributed their initial entry. fee as well as the initial contribution, and now there's funds in there for me to withdraw, and then I'll contribute for the next person to withdraw, and everyone else will except for the person whose turn it is then. So go around a big group. So you can kind of see each of these partnerships that I'm involved in. Give it this time to reload. I know I already admitted my fault there. Every time that okay, so when I look at this one here, this screen here, I can see all the different partnerships that I'm a part of. Very cool screen, and you can see how each partnership is at its own stage. This one here denotes that I need to withdraw because it's my turn. If I click on this one, that indicates that it's my withdrawal turn. I need to obviously go in here and complete the steps so that way the partnership can move forward. And if I don't, by the turn end date, it'll automatically be dispersed to me and we'll move on to the next person's turn. So it'll say draw share. I click on that. It now shows me this little bit of information. Note, you must contribute in each round unless you're. Sorry, I'm reading too quickly. My brain's going too quickly. It says, note, you must contribute in each round unless it is your withdrawal turn. Note, owed partnership debts from your missed contribution rounds will be deducted from your withdrawal. Yeah, and the partner platform commission is listed there. Yes, guys, we do have a commission. Oh no, how will we allow a company to earn a commission? Well, look, guys, this is free software for everyone to download and use. The only way that we earn money from this is by a commission that takes place through every partnership and Blender platform credit line. It's simply a commission of the blockchain smart contract transaction. So I have to allow people to use the software for free, to allow people to join and have an ease of accessibility for everyone to take place. You don't need FICO, like I said, because on the Blender platform, not the partner platform, you don't need FICO. You don't need FICO on any Lenderblock apps, but the Blender platform is the only place where FICO really takes a more interesting turn. And this is because we use collateral to supplement the lack of FICO requirements. So we don't need FICO, but we substitute that with a collateral protection against borrower defaults provided for our lenders, which are, once again, just members on the app. So if we didn't have that collateral protection, then we need FICO so that way we can properly ascertain, I love that word, right? We can use another one. We can properly discern the credibility of a borrower so that way we could put a rate upon the probability of their defaulting to their becoming or remaining a credible lender or an up-to-date payer of their debts. So we have to kind of, with FICO, we'd be kind of basically underwriting each credit line and saying this person may have this probability of defaulting versus this person, and therefore we allocate a credit limit to a person of a lesser credibility than we would a person of a higher credibility. So we can gauge it that way and create our own scales and algorithms. That's all very simple to do. However, we don't do it that way. We simply do a flat collateral and we build up each credit line via collateral. This builds the overall status of the company, allows the company to hold more funds within it, for one. It allows it to be more equitable and fair and accessible for all people, even those who don't have any FICO credit history or have a poor debt to equity ratio, or maybe their parents opened a cable bill in their name, or they'll have to pay a light bill with some of their Social Security information to help the family, have light or heat or whatever. These are real situations that people encounter, and this platform, all of my platforms, all of my apps are built for people who may be struggling with those situations, as well as those who may not be. Because if you're not struggling at all, then lend to someone. You can earn ROI, return on your investment. Or if you want to do a little bit of both, when you're down a little bit, withdraw from your credit line. When you're up, then lend. Do it with your family and friends. Document your transactions. This is all in the spirit of creating a social economy independent of over-leveraged financial institutions. Once again, Lenderblock Corporation is predicated upon the desire to liberate individuals from the dependence upon over-leveraged financial institutions, such as your Bank of America or your Chevy Chase or whatever it may be. We're looking to build a social economy where people can lend and borrow to the same effect that they could or would with a financial institution, but through a network of individuals. And that's the true meaning of like social economy that we're branding as Lenderblock Corporation's mission, and we're achieving it right now. As I told you, we have credit lines, over 40 credit lines on the platform right now. We have several partnerships functioning within groups of people who know one another, but we need more. We need more. And the reason why I say that is because this is good for everyone in the world. However, we're only in America right now, right? We're only in the U.S. We're constricted to the United States right now, but everyone in the world should be using Lenderblock software because this is how human beings evolved. We evolved by bartering, and then that turned into using forms of currency like certain shells or whatever, things that could be somewhat standardized, maybe not that easy to find, but maybe you just use them as you could maybe let's say you have let's say you have a certain area that has a certain type of stone in some local microcosm, and they say, okay, this type of stone is only found in this area. Some group is gonna monopolize the area. We're gonna take control of this area, and then we're gonna use these little stones here, or it could be gold that's found in a mine, or something that's hard to attain, right? And someone can gain some type of, unfortunately, monopolize control over to establish some type of currency. But in the goodwill of that currency, people can lend and borrow peer-to-peer using that. Before we only had bartering, but once we created bartering, we created a currency that we could then use to conduct transactions with one another. But there weren't banks per se, is my point, right? There weren't banks per se. They were hard to attain resources which we use as currencies to move us away from trading goods for goods. Like I have 2 pounds of salt and I'll trade you that for a pound of beef jerky. Like we stopped doing that and we started saying, okay, let's use, like I said, it could be seashells that it might be hard to find, or a certain type of starfish that you find only here or there, or you could have different types, like we had different coins here, different items could be worth different standardized rates. That's how currency started. It could have been the monopolization if it were some natural resource that could have been found that a group took control over, and they're selling goods or whatever. But eventually we amalgamated into this idea of currency. And before we had large overlooming banks, people were conducting banking transactions through churches, covenants, neighborhoods. I'm talking like BC times. I'm talking like Babylon, like the Bible. I'm talking like way back then. People were doing those types of transactions in this type of way. So it's one of the oldest ways that human beings have ever, I guess, conceptualized money. Is lending and borrowing within each other's communities, whether you have goods that I need or vice versa, and also saving money collectively through social groups like churches, synagogues, yes, temples, literally any social group through which there's a social fabric of trust. That's how human beings evolved to use money. And this is simply bringing these principles to the modern age. I'm very passionate about it, guys, especially when I'm on these podcasts by myself. I just ramble on. Let me see how long I've been going here. All right, I'm going to end soon. This is like 40 minutes or so. So, yeah, this is how the partnerships work, guys. Check it out for yourself. Once again, it all starts back with, some of you may be just tuning in. You have to start here. You have to invite friends. You invite friends. These are my friends here. I can invite a friend by clicking down here. I can add that friend. They'll appear up here once it finishes loading up and adding them as a friend. They have to add you back as a friend if they want to be your friend, by the way. But you add them as a friend. You adding them as a friend puts them in that top list. Then you can go in here and create your partnership. Go through this whole shebang of selecting the amount of cycles or turns each member will get to withdraw. Say each member will get 3 turns to withdraw. We're going to contribute 2 weeks. We're going to contribute. This is kind of, this fraction is confusing. Damn it. Oh yeah, I got you. How many weeks are we going to contribute? So I put it in this unit because I just want you to put the number of weeks. I just confused myself, but that's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, every 4 weeks is a contribution. So that's the unit there. 4 weeks per contribution. Yeah, it's weird. You might think 1 contribution per 4 weeks, but that's the same thing. So then you're going to say, I just put the number of weeks you want to go between each contribution. All right, that's the principle there. And then your contribution value, how much will be contributed each turn. So I just showed every 4 weeks between each contribution. Well, how much will be contributed on each contribution turn every 4 weeks? Well, we'll contribute $10. Very, very easy. And then will I force the people who are in the partnership to submit a fee to me for being the manager? Right? That's a choice of mine. I don't have to do that, but because as a manager, there are some responsibilities that I may have to take up. I can charge each person a small entry fee if I choose to. And once again, it's optional. Be $1 or whatever, but it's your choice. Next, you're going to confirm this is the initial cost. Once again, as the manager, you're going to contribute on your own first turn. Once I create this and I get people to actually join by inviting them, remember that this contribution includes my This is my first term contribution, which I'll be withdrawing as a manager. So you can see initial contribution here. And you have partnership creation fee below it. And the total due cost is $11. I scroll down, I confirm. And then I just go ahead and pay and create. It'll have me, I didn't do anything there. I have to type in my password and I don't want to, so boom. But you can do Face ID there like you just saw pop up if you want. Make it really quick and easy, and you'll have a partnership pop up here in this list. And you go through the further steps of inviting the members whom you'd like to be within the partnership, and then remember that those members who are in the partnership must already be added to your friends list. This is because I don't want you inviting random people. All right, if I set it up in a way where you just add people's usernames, you need to have more of a close-knit interaction there. So invite people to be your friends and build upon that first. Once you have your friends, because you've gotten the people in your family who want to participate to sign up, you add them to your friends list, then you as a manager can get to work creating your partnership and managing it. Was there one more thing I wanted to show you? Invite members to contribute to enter. No actions due, no actions due. I might be the manager of this one. Maybe, I'm guessing. But if I'm the manager of this one, I want to show you one more thing before I end. Yeah, I am. Perfect. So this one, there are already members within it. You can see there's only two members, which negates the purpose of doing something like this. But it's funny. I did this once again for testing. And if I go down here, I'm going to go to partnership schedule. And if I go to partnership schedule, this is the last thing I wanted to show you. You can swap turns between members. I, as a manager, as you just saw, the manager of this partnership, there's no actions due for me because it's not my turn to withdraw. And I must have already contributed for the person whose turn it is to withdraw. So I want to show you one thing I can do as a manager. I am going to do a swap. You click on one, and you see this menu pops up. Before, when I clicked on one, that wasn't an option. I couldn't click on one turn to withdraw and swap it with another if I weren't the manager. So this pops up now because I am the manager, and now let's say, okay, the first round index, I have the second round I've selected, and the partner who has that turn is Wigin, W-G-I-N. And I'll say next, select another round to swap. So now I'll say next, and it wants me to click another one. Okay, I'll swap these two. My turn with Wiggins. And now I'll say, here's your first round that you're swapping with the other round. You're swapping another index, which is the third index, and that's owned by M. Lewis. So you're swapping this one with that one. The indexes are the cardinal number, or the ordinal. It's the ordinal, my bad. It's the ordinal number, like whatever index it is in the list of rounds that happen sequentially. Then you have the first drawer that has that turn, and the second one that has that turn. Those are the two people who are swapping turns there. As a manager, I only do this not willy-nilly. I do it because someone's requested it. And it usually will take place in the form of a discussion within the partnership group chat. That group chat I showed you earlier that I was telling you I tried to make analogous as possible to iMessage. I don't know how well I achieved that, but you see that message there, that message thread there allows you to talk about things like this. And as a manager, you have the explicit privileges to make this swap. If you want to, you go in. It does require you to put in your Face ID or your password once again, because it's a bit of it's a serious thing here. You don't want people just like being able to pick up your phone and do a swap or something like that. So it is very important, and also it's actually a blockchain transaction, which is gonna force you to decrypt your private key and put in your password. Yeah. So those of you who have been on this entire time, I know that this has been a very long video, around 40. That's almost an hour, around 45 minutes. I want to end here. This was a partner platform demo. The partner platform allows you to create rotational interest-free fund sharing or fund saving groups with members in your group of friends or your family or whatever social group through which you communicate with people on a regular basis, through which you can hold them accountable ideally, and you might want to share funds collectively for the good of the members in the group and for the group as a whole. So the partner platform allows you to do that. You contribute cyclically, fixed value cyclically to the pool, and you will have rotational turns to withdraw the sum of the pool. And that is the partner platform in a nutshell. There are mitigations against the risk associated with a member defaulting. However, it is still trust-based, so please invite members who you know and trust to your partnership. This is something done very popularly in the Caribbean nations, whether they are Latino, Latina, whether they are Anglicized, whether they are more West African based. They are called all types of names: Susu, Tanda, Juntas, Cuchubales, Panderos. Partners is where I get it from. I like the name partner. And you just go ahead and you join these groups and you participate in them, and If you have an unforeseen expense or some emergency expense come up, you can go through the partnership and request from the manager, hey, yo, I need to turn the withdrawal. And the manager, if they choose, can do the swap for you. Now, this was released on October 2022, so this is a brand new app, relatively, as far as apps go. And I want you guys to learn about this and try it all out. Remember that you can sign into the partner platform with the same username that you do with the Blender platform, and they are sibling apps. And check out all our videos to learn more about that. And I'll leave you with it. Check out our apparel as well, guys. I'm wearing a little customized top here, but you know I got the pants like always. So you see I got the, hope you guys can see that. Let me switch over to the other screen actually, so I can show you this one properly. Alright, so you see guys, I have the Lenderblock apparel on. Cool pants, some joggers, really nice. Some of you guys may recognize this one as well. This from our New York shoot we did early last year in January. So it's all the apparel, the YouTube podcast, the apps. It's all a part of our ploy to the public to pay attention to Lenderblock Corporation. Take seriously what we're offering the public. It is a big deal. It absolutely is useful for every person who is involved. It's profitable in some cases for lenders on our Blender platform app who lend to good borrowers and do make a good choice and get that return on their investment. It's profitable. It's also helpful for your life if you run into unforeseen expenses, either in the form of a credit line or in the form of your partner withdrawal return coming to save things. Everything we're doing here is for the social well-being of people and trying to create new options for members to fulfill their financial needs without having to go through an over-leveraged financial institution. And maybe you can get support from someone in their neighborhood or down the street within their family. This is the entire ploy of what we're aiming for. And with our 2,500 members, a very new milestone for us. We've just recently gotten over 2,500 members with our 2,500 uniquely owned accounts. We are looking to grow exponentially. We're just waiting for, like I said, more external funding so we can speed things up, offer more collateral increases to our borrowers on the Blender platform, increase our marketing wingspan and cover more ground, and just reach out to people in more ways. And finally, guys, I'm going to tell you about our trip to Mexico. Don't forget about our trip to Mexico. We're going to Mexico in May. You see this sticker up here somewhere. Mexico, our 2023, we're going to be in Cancun. I chose Cancun just because it's a cool place for us to go. But we're going to be taking trips outside of that local vicinity and taking some cultural immersion trips and just making a whole documentary from it. The whole reason why we're going is because the apps are translated into Spanish as well. You can go into either app and select the Spanish option within the settings tab, configurations, and just choose Spanish. You can view the apps in Spanish, use them in Spanish, sign up in Spanish, get your notifications in Spanish. So all of that's built in. And what we're trying to do here is just open up to a bigger demographic. So going to Central America, learning about exactly where the cultural centers are there churches? We need to go to after-school recreational centers. Do we need to go to schools? Do we need to go to arbitration centers? Do we need to go to what social centers do we need to approach? How do we reach the people? And how do we form a base in Central America and further on Latin America, going into South America, and even those within the Caribbean Sea? How do we expand? Well, we're going to start with Central America because it's right there. But how do we start creating the base in Central America for people to connect with their family overseas? I intend to do the same thing later on with some of the Caribbean nations like Jamaica, with Jamaicans being in this country. But I'm starting right now with Mexico, and we're going to go down there and just once again immerse ourselves culturally, learn more about how to reach out to the people, get in some very important business meetings as well, which are pre-scheduled, and we're going to be documenting the entire thing for you guys. So I want you to tune in, subscribe, and just watch us grow. I love talking to you guys one-on-one. It's fun. I'm rambling. I'm talking for an hour here. If you're around me, you know I really don't even speak that often. So I'm excited to be with you guys every single Saturday. And I hope you guys keep tuning in, subscribe, and yes, sir. Power to your wallet.